Well, good day to everyone. In this video, I am going to demonstrate the process that I follow to make my pivot drills. All of my pivot drills begin as a carbide-tipped dental burr. Now, I'm sure if you looked online, you could find a source for carbide-tipped dental burrs, and you could buy them new. I actually talked to my dentist, and he actually saved me his old used ones that kind of had lost their edge and were not useful to him anymore. He sterilized them, and when I would come in for my 6 months checkup, he would have a little baggie full of bits for me. So I have plenty of bits. My basic setup for this first step is just your standard watchmaker's lathe with the cross slide and grinding attachment. In the grinding attachment, I have a diamond, cylindrical diamond burr that you can get from a lapidary supply house. And while I spin the dental burr in the headstock, I am very lightly grinding away at that dental burr to remove the actual burr itself and leave a smooth cylindrical body from which then I'll shape the drill bit. Once I've created that smooth cylinder that I want, I measure the diameter, and it measures about 45 hundredths of a millimeter. The finished drill that I'm wanting to make has a diameter of 12 hundredths of a millimeter. So what I'm going to do is continue grinding, but only about half the length that I've previously ground, and try to reduce the diameter likewise to about half. Once I've done that, I'm done using the grinding attachment and the burr. Because the burr is too coarse for any more fine work, and as you can see if you look real close here, the very end of the drill is actually tapered, and tapered in the wrong way. So I'm going to have to resort to using a hand lap, similar like you would use a stone on a piece of steel, and bring it down to its final diameter by hand, as well as a final and finer finish than what it has on right now. This lap that I'm using is a 1200 grit diamond lap that I made from a top plate flat lap that, again, I ordered from a lapidary supply house. And it comes in 5 or 6 inch diameters, and it's just electroplated diamond on steel. And so what I do is I cut it up into pieces that would more suit me, and the piece that I'm showing here is just in the shape of a small file. Once I've reduced the diameter of the tip here to 14 hundredths of a millimeter, I switch my laps to a similar one made with 3000 grit diamond, and use that to take down the last 2 hundredths of a millimeter diameter, so we end up with a smooth cylinder of 12 hundredths of a millimeter diameter. Now, to form the flutes, I have grown accustomed to simply holding the drill bit in a pin vise, and I hold it against a bronze lap that is charged with a very fine diamond compound, and grind it by hand. I have it under magnification, and I'm looking at it through a loop. You'll have to forgive me. I'm not accustomed to doing this process while looking through a camera, so I'm giving you a more distant view of the process. The way I ensure that the flutes are perfectly opposite of one another is I just eyeball it in comparison to the placing of the slits in the jaws of the pin vise, and therefore I can ensure that they are opposite of one another and not at an angle to one another. Once the flutes are formed to my satisfaction, to form the cutting edge of the drill is a simple matter of drawing it backwards on the 3000 grit lap that I have and forming the cutting edge that way. It may take a time or two of working it on the lap and then inspecting it under the microscope and then reworking it again to get the shape that satisfies me, but this is the method that I follow. And so here is the completed drill bit as you saw at the beginning of the video. 12/100ths of a millimeter in diameter. And you may be asking if the drill bit works, and I can attest to yes, it does. So thanks so much for watching. I hope this was of benefit to you. Stay tuned because I hope to eventually post more videos on the subject of repivoting. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you the next time.